Hey, Francesca here. Punish no more, free to protect. Good evening. Tonight's subject is, can you use law of attraction on a narcissist? And that's what we're going to delve right into this evening. But before we do, I just want to let you know I am a national advocate with specialty in ADA, American Disability Act, and I'm a best-selling author of the book Punished for Protecting the Injustice System of Family Court. You can find this in the description if you'd like to order a copy of the book. Now, what do? Well, I handle matters within the family court in CPS. I've been advocating for now 13 years, and it's not what you think. I don't work for the courts, and I don't work for CPS. No, what I do, and I'm not a bar member, I'm an advocate. So I actually help the families. And the majority of these families have suffered from tremendous emotional abuse. And one of the things that I've discovered is that the attorneys, the bar members, not all, because we have some great YouTubers here that are actually attorneys that are speaking against narcissism. But the judges, the attorneys, a lot of people in law enforcement, a lot of people in political positions and high powers, people in high places are narcissists. Also, many times, I've always said that they're in a family court situation. Many times there's usually one abuser out of the two parents. And this is what keeps it going. I've noticed that two normal parents that split up, co-parent, they know that their children aren't 50-50. They know that they're 100%, 100%, 100%, all three, all 10, whatever. And they parent beautifully, no problems. And then their children get to grow up a lot healthier than children that grow up that have been attacked through the family court situation. If you go through my playlist, you'll find many times where I've spoken before a lot of different legislative bodies and so on, literally using their own statistics against them. Well, this has led me to studying and researching narcissism. And so I've done so many videos already on gaslighting, love bombing, future faking, flying monkeys, you name it. And these are tactics that are used in these legal venues, or I should say illegal venues, if you really understood what was going on in this entire system. But this is on a personal level. And also in the description, you can click the link to Facebook. I have a page, I Survived a Narcissist. You can too. And it's all about getting to your happily ever after. Yes, we could be happy and we could be happily ever after. And that's the goal here. So that's why I'm doing this video tonight that we're going to dive right into. All of us jump in. The pool is full. So have you ever dived into a pool and there was no water? Well, that's what it's like dating a narcissist, going out with a narcissist, being married to a narcissist, having a narcissistic parent, coworker, boss, whatever. Judicial system, like I said, it's not fun, and it's like the normal things that you want to do in life. Normal family, normal life, normal marriage, normal commitment. This is what normal people look for. People that are empaths who feel everything, okay? We work by all beyond our five senses. We feel everything. We know what somebody's thinking. We know what somebody's feeling. We have those heightened emotions, so to speak, that only other empaths can truly understand. Many times narcissists target empaths. Sometimes it's codependents, people who have love issues, loving themselves issues. Others just have heightened sensitivity to these gifts, basically. So I'm talking about this today because as we go through and as I take people through this healing process, we're acknowledging that, first of all, it is a narcissist and acknowledging the traits. And I also want to let you guys know that I'm very responsible in what I'm doing. I have discussed this with psychologists, psychotherapists, licensed social workers, and so on and so forth. I personally have gone through a personal experience, very personal experience. And so it was textbooked in my case, okay, where I showed the chat messages and I showed all this evidence that I had. I showed everything. I didn't just show pieces. I showed the lengthy conversation throughout the years and so on and so forth, so that I would have peace at night knowing that I wasn't calling somebody something or diagnosing them myself, because I'm not a licensed psychologist, okay? I'm an advocate, but where I wasn't calling somebody something that they weren't, okay? I got verification, I got confirmation. And I have life, listen, when you have actual life hands-on experience, you could go to school all you want. If you don't have that actual experience, it's not actually something that you have lived through and that you can understand and get that expertise in these types of matters. But I am also a life coach. I am also, I do own my own nonprofit organization, Punished for Protecting Incorporated. And like I said, and I am a best-selling author, but I also am writing a new book called I Survived a Narcissist, You Can Too, which I do believe will be out within a year's time. So we're doing this because we're having this amazing healing community on Facebook, I Survived a Narcissist, You Can Too, where we're taking it several steps higher than normal, which is first acknowledge the narcissistic relationship you may have been in, are out of, or may be in now. Acknowledge it for what it is, okay? Accept it for what it is. Understand it, and separate yourself out from it as much as you possibly can, if not 100%, which is what we aim for. We teach you methods of protecting and guarding your heart through the process, which leads me to law of attraction, law of assumption. And can you use law of attraction with a narcissist? Well, listen, here's the thing, okay? All of this, I firmly believe, is biblically based, okay? Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, he was notorious for the power of positive thinking, positive speaking, and that is biblical, okay? Bible says we're scorned by the words of our mouths. The Bible says that we are life and death is in the power of the tongue, and that it says choose life. So this is what all this law of attraction is, and it is a biblical law. You can't change that, okay? And so with saying that, guys, listen, here it is right here in a nutshell. With saying that, I believe very strongly in the law of attraction. I believe very, very strongly in manifesting in your life, and I'm gonna go through this, manifesting in your life whatever you want, like whatever you want. And it's not like magic. Well, I shouldn't say magic genie. Give me whatever I want, and I can. It's the sun falls on the just and the unjust. The rain falls on on the just and the unjust. That's biblical, okay? And God gives us favor, okay? I just can tell you this. I can explain things in my own experiences in life. As a young child, I was always very happy. I come from a one parent family, and I lived a very happy childhood, okay? There were certain narcissistic traits in my family, okay, that I suffered, which caused me to choose wrong at times, okay, without getting too deep in that. But I always had a very strong, very great family, very solid, healthy discipline and healthy boundaries, healthy moral growing up. And I was always very happy, and I was always very positive. So I was activating law of attraction just by living, just by having this happiness and faith in me. And so I manifested all around me. Like, I was friends with every kind of person in school. When we were in school, it was called, like, honestly, this was called like the potheads, the druggies, the jocks. I mean, we had names, okay? The preps. I don't know. It's all different today, obviously, but this is what we had. And I was friends with everybody, and everybody was friends with me, okay? So I was liked by everybody, and I liked everybody, okay? Now, needless to say, as life goes on, you tend to, I had a picture on Facebook where you tend to, there's a little girl, and she's got 3 tarantulas, and she's having a tea party. That's me. Oh my God. And I'm sure many of you can relate to that, because we let in people that are not of the same moral fiber. They're not of the same, the same particular peaceful backgrounds, and so we're all accepting, and we should be accepting, but with particular boundaries. Boundaries is a very important thing. And so I just kind of embrace everybody, and you should, within reason and limits and boundaries. And so this is something I've had to learn even in my older years. I've had to learn this. And so that is why I made choices sometimes that were not beneficial to myself, okay? And so people can relate to that. And this is why I have this group. And I highly recommend you guys get in there, especially if you're dealing with a narcissist now. But, you know, the more I think about it, and having the type of empathetic gifting that I have, okay, I would like to see even the narcissist heal. That doesn't mean I want to be with the narcissist, okay? But it does mean that I'd like to see them healed. And I was thinking, you know, like on a whole in our world, we just did an interview with Cindy Bross, and we talked about narcissism is all over the place in this country right now. It's just, and then with social media, the narcissism, it just keeps growing and growing and growing, right? Excuse me. So, but I would like to see, wouldn't it be better, wouldn't it be a better world if we can see narcissists healed? And, you know, I've actually read some stuff from some of the other greats out there, excuse me, that there was actually narcissists themselves that are a part of some of these groups, like Dr. Ramani's groups, and just the different others that are on social media that are on YouTube that are greats that I'll list here as well, that are teaching on narcissism. And a lot of narcissists were even beginning to speak up and saying, you know, I am a recovered narcissist, someone said, and it touched my heart. Okay. Let's just not beat us down. Okay. Now listen, when you're going through the healing process, it is important to know what these people have done to you. I'll give you an example. Like when they're accusing you of cheating because they're cheating, that is painful. Okay. Because it's like a double slam. Okay. That kind of stuff. So yeah, you want to be mad at them or whatever. And you know what? The thing is that, or when they twist things, or they slither into your families and they try to ruin your character, and they try to ruin your reputation, and they try to, you know, and they do all these very severely damaged mentally, you know, emotionally, they have mental illness. And so it is a mental illness, and it's been diagnosed as such. And so you want to be able to make sure you cut that off and you get healed from it, and you can be free, okay, and happy and productive and have a good life and manifest all these great things all around you, okay? I am living proof that this works, okay? And this is what I want to be able to share with you all. But at the same time, once you're over that hump, because I don't recommend going back, I don't, but you can be a help to other narcissists, and you can get to the place where you're praying for your narcissist or narcissists in your life. And science has validated and proven that law of attraction works. Guys, it's simple that it works. And we were talking about you pushed out. Does anybody understand what you pushed out is? What you pushed out is that I related to, we had this one waitress one time. We used to call her Happy. We used to go in there and she was miserable all the time. I never saw a smile. So we named her Happy. And we would be super nice to her. When we first went in there, we would be like, you know, we would kind of be as miserable as her, because when you go in and you're paying for food and you go in to relax, you don't want a miserable waitress waiting on you being rude and miserable, you know? So we were miserable right back, and it only made her more miserable, and it made our time in this sushi restaurant miserable, okay? But we wanted the food. Well, we started calling her Happy. And at first it was a joke, but then we started calling her Happy and started being pleasant to her. We started being more respectful to her. We went in with compassion toward her. We went in with empathy toward her. And you know what happened? She smiled. She literally smiled. She came over right away when we got there. Nobody else treated her that way. And now she was friendly when we went in. Okay? So that's you pushed out. Now, listen. You could go to another restaurant and they're not going to treat you that way. So why just that one, and why is that you pushed out? Okay, like, did you make that happen? Well, listen, even the Bible talks about the sins of the children, or the sins of the parents fall down into the third and fourth generation on their own children. I think it's a lesson that God teaches us, because it's all about love at the end of the day. At the end of the day, at one point in time, you loved your narcissist. You gave your narcissist your heart and soul, and you loved that person. You committed everything to them. And so the things that they did to you and do to you currently are emotionally abusive. Some are physically abusive, and it's painful and it hurts. But at the end of the day, it's love that conquers everything. And I do believe what the Bible says, love is the greatest weapon of all. And this is how you use love. And by you pushed out means that you're going to get back in return what you give. Okay. And not to get into like certain things where people have been abused, and it's not like they're blaming themselves, but there's a strong wisdom to learn when we take accountability for ourselves and we live in that peace zone. We live in that place of peace where we're happy, and our message, even if it's in our own little world, and God blesses the plot of land that you're on, and that land remains blessed for generations to come. Think about that. It literally is true. And so we are kind to all people, no matter how horrible that they are to us. And eventually it blesses back. And that's how law of attraction works for even the narcissist. Isn't that a powerful message to learn today? Isn't that something that you would want to have happen in your life? And now think about it. If it happens in pockets throughout the country, or let's just say it happens in pockets first in your own community, and then in your own state, and then you pass it on to others, and then it happens in their states, we might stop seeing a lot of what we're seeing right now in the world that I believe has its place right now, because I believe that corruption has been so evil and so long, and so much violations to so many different types of people, that right now we're coming into a place where this had to explode at one point. Like, I talk about it like a bad pimple in puberty, and it looks really bad when it's like squeezed and it's coming out, and it just looks really bad on the skin, and then all of a sudden it's just beautiful and clean skin. We're in the pimple pushing part right now. We're in that part right now in this country. But eventually, what's the good that's left is what's going to come to the surface eventually. Okay? And it may leave some scars because that's what happens. And those are like the reminders. We need to be appreciative of the place that we live. We need to be appreciative of the land that we live on. We need to be appreciative of those in our families, even if they're a narcissist and they didn't raise you with love. Okay? Because this narcissism comes out of abuse. It comes out of, and I'm not saying go back and stay. I'm saying use wisdom. Okay? But we have to be appreciative to all people. And I have to learn, like I everything I speak to anyone, I speak to myself, and it's my lessons as I'm learning and growing. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be that person that walks around cynical. I don't want to be that person. I mean, I get attacked all the time. I get attacked for years. I get attacked by, we call them trolls, flying monkeys. I've been attacked. I've been lied about on every aspect. And I'm happy because, I come out with peace inside. I can go to bed at night feeling good. I have stronger friendships. I have just amazing people in my life, and I don't know how to explain it. I hope I'm doing a decent job explaining it, but basically what it's done is God takes out the riffraff, so to speak, and makes room for better relationships, friendships, quality people like ourselves, and that's law of attraction. So some things repel while other things come together. That's law of attraction. But there's those people out there that we as lovers, we as good people, we that are more lovers and not fighters, we that are empathetic, we that have empathy, we that are empaths, right? What about us? We still love. It's still who we are. The world doesn't understand people like us because it's out there to get what's good for them. I've given up what most people strive for, right? Just give. Because I don't hold on to the things of this world. Okay? And so we still love. Okay? We love ourselves though. So we're not going to allow abuse. We love ourselves. So we're not going to want to be in a relationship with somebody that's going to not be able to give back to us what we give. Okay? So it's not really about that. It's more of about, we are the type of people that give love, and we give health. We give, proper advice. We live by a moral compass. So when you have these toxic type of people, or when you have these kind of people that, because it might sound contradictory to you pushed out, but it's technically not, because I don't remember exactly, but we have so many thoughts per day. So all positive thoughts and then the negative thoughts, and and it's a computer, so it spits it out there. Okay, this really happens. And so we attract what we're thinking, okay, what we're believing. So it's important that we meditate on the Lord and we meditate on his word, and that we think all the right things. So when you're having a conflict, and this is how I liken it. I liken it to if you're around somebody that's coughing, and forget about this whole mask thing, but coughing and choking and they're contagious, let's just say. I'll use it as an example because I don't know what other way to use this to explain this. You're around them and you can catch what they have, right? So when you're in this toxic narcissistic relationship and they're doing this, your brain, what happens is it starts to believe, and you start to accept what's not good for you. And then you start being drawn to more people that are not good for you. Okay? So when you get rid of all that, you clean house. Now you're healthy, immune. Now you draw all the right people, the right relationships, the good relationships, the healthy relationships, the good things in life, right? And at that point, when anything sick comes along, now you're more powerful to be able to impress onto them what's right, what's good. And that law of attraction can start speaking over them, what you don't want to speak. He cheated on me. He was a liar. We've all been there, okay? She did this and he did that. No, get past the healing process so you can start saying, find something good in that person and start touching on that, okay? Maybe start out by saying he's just so injured. He's not capable of loving. But then you want to move that now because you don't want to stay in that spot. He's just so injured. He wasn't capable of loving, but he is, and then you can start law of attraction. Now he is having dreams constantly, being convicted of what he did wrong, acknowledging what he did wrong, acknowledging the lies, acknowledging how he twisted or how she twisted. This is literally just no names, no actual people. And he, I'm a female, so he realizes what he did wrong. He's so strongly convicted. He wants to make this right. Others are talking to him, and he's finally hearing how wrong he was. Okay? He wants to get help. See, we know that a narcissist doesn't go get counseling. We already understand all that. But when I read some of these messages from these recovering and even recovered narcissists, they said, please don't just talk bad about us. We're already hurting. And it was like, that really touched me. Okay, because we want to be so angry at these people because some of them are really bad. We know that. Some of them are like pathetically, toxic and mean and liars and pathological liars and emotionally cruel. And they have this emotional abuse makeup. That's who they are. That's who they've become in life. They don't really know another way. But the truth of the matter is that their brain can be changed back to normal too. And us as empaths, we can speak life over them, and get them to the place just by speaking it. And listen, I'm going to give you an example. What is it? Ho'oponopono. Am I saying it right? The Hawaiian prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. So I don't remember the medical doctor or the psychologist name, but the reason that came out was literally, this is amazing. Okay. There was a psychologist, and there was this mental institution filled with like crazies. Okay. To the point where the employees wouldn't go to work there because it was so like, you ever been at a place where like my house, people come here, they're like, oh my God, I just feel so much peace here. And it's just so light. And everybody that's been here has said that to me. They went there and it's like dreary and depressing, and they felt weighed down and heavy. And the people had such severe mental illness. Okay. And so they called in this specialist, and he's the one that started all of this. And I will get his name. I'm so sorry I don't have it. But he decided that he wasn't going to meet with them one-on-one. So he didn't even meet with them one-on-one. He looked at their charts and found out what was wrong with them and why they were there. And they couldn't even get enough staff to help in this place because it was so dreary and like these crazies were, I shouldn't say it that way, but you know, they were so like emotionally abusive and so on to even the staff and stuff, that they didn't even want to come to work. So they'd like call out sick and what have you. And so what happened was, I think he did meet them during the cafeteria time one time. I think he did meet a group of them during lunch, but all he did was speak this Hawaiian prayer over them by name. And do you know what happened? Little by little, these people that were severely mentally ill, you can look this up yourself, little by little, they began to get better. I mean, did you imagine? They began to get better, okay? Where people now wanted to work in this mental institution because they wanted to work in this mental institution because they were fascinated by the fact that nobody was literally working with them specifically. This was being done by this prayer. I'm sorry, thank you. Please forgive me, not I forgive you. Please forgive me. That's that inward reflection, okay? And listen, got to work with somebody, right? When you can't work with the narcissist, so you got to work with the person that's healthy-minded, that's willing to do the work. And what happened was, I'm going to see if I can look this up here for you guys. What happened was they wanted to come work. They wanted to come work because they were like, I want to know what's going on there now, you know. Little by little, these people began to heal and heal and heal to the point where they literally were dismissed from the place. They were able to leave because they were completely healed, and at that point there was no need to keep them there anymore. So they were let go. Yeah, Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. Okay, and it's by Morna Nalamaku Simona, Craig Beck. Let's see. It was healing and transformation that came. Healing and transformation that came. And so it really works. Oh, hang on. Let me just find the original doctor's name. Original doctor. And so miracles took place. Miracles literally took place. And let's see if I can find it. I don't know if that was the right name. Let's see. So I can get it for you so you guys can look it up. Well, Dr. Joe Vitale will tell the story if you look him up, but he's not the one that did this. But he has an amazing testimony. I'm looking up this right now. And it's the Secret Hawaiian System. But there was an actual, it's Dr. Hugh Len and Morna Nalamaku Simonia. Okay. It was an entire ward of dangerous, mentally ill criminals in Hawaii. And this is where this came from. Okay, so this works. So we can do this for the narcissist in your life. I believe that. And so I will continue to pray for any of the narcissists in all of our lives, and watch God move in their lives. And isn't that important that we do this, you know? And, you know, with the evil system that I fight against, you know, CPS and all that, but it's called taking responsibility for ourselves. And then I believe that as we continue this forgiveness process, we no longer want to, like, I have no anger towards them. Like, sometimes something else will show up and I've got to kind of deal with it, but I have no anger towards them. Like, I feel sorry for narcissists in my life. I really do, because I understand the wounded child within them, the person that they are. Like, I don't go around thinking I can't trust anybody. I have to be less naive, but I don't go around going, I can't trust anybody. And then, you know, you get in a relationship with somebody and you can't trust anybody. And that's so unfair to the person you're in a relationship that trusts you, you know? So it's a healing journey, and it's a healing journey for all of us. But I also want to say this. Let's go back to the manifestation part, because this is where we're going to be going with this whole healing journey and process, right? But where we're going to be going is that you can manifest anything in this life, and you can manifest it quickly, okay? And that's where I'm going with this entire healing journey. So don't forget, guys, listen carefully. Get on my page on Facebook. I Survived a Narcissist. You can too. because you know what? You are worthy of a good relationship, of good things in this life. Okay, of being a productive human being that can help produce healthy and good things for others out there, especially if you're an empath. That's all we know. Okay, your family, your children, and what we deserve. It's just interesting. Like, I see a lot of things that's going on, and I don't want to say too much on here because it might sound kind of strange, but um, if you have morals and your heart and how you are on the inside, and people that know you know that about you too, and so um, that you are loving. Let's put it that way, and that it's easy to love you because you are loving and because you have good things and you offer good things. Like, that you offer a lot into a relationship. So if somebody says you're too good for somebody, for example, well, what they're saying is that you have a lot of goodness that you're giving, and that person may have a lot of ugly. So when I weigh it, it's not like you're too good for somebody because you're filthy rich and they're dirt poor. That's not how I look at it. I look at it, that you're good. You're just a good person, and they're not being very good to you. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you're doing all the giving and they're just doing the taking. They're not giving anything back except for aggravation. But we want to get over that hump. We want to get healed past that, right? I survived a narcissist. You can too. And we want to start doing law of attraction because it works, guys. It works on the narcissist in your life, or on any situation in your life that's negative. Okay. And there's a lot of things that you can manifest, which is what we're going to be talking about throughout this throughout these series, these many different series that we're doing. We're going in many different veins, because it's about life, guys. It's about your family. It's about your personal life. I did the whole, and I still do, but the family court thing. But it's like, that's not all life is. There has to be coming up out of that. There has to be life after family court. And you don't want that to hold you in bondage for the rest of your life, ball and chain to a family court or a CPS situation or any other, situation that me as an advocate, I've helped so many different families, criminal courts and what have you. That's not what life is all about. There's so much beauty out there. There's such great things out there. There's relationships to be had, and there's grandchildren, and there's beautiful flower gardens you can plant, and there's organic gardens you can plant, and there's vacations you can go on. There's so much you can do. There's so much important things in life. And also, this will work for you if you are in the grips of the family court or CPS situations. And this is what I help my clients with, is that start thinking positive, because it's easy to fall into and to like slide down in the mire when you're in this, because it's so sad. Like, your kids are in dangerous situations. I know, I've experienced it. So I'm not just teaching, I've lived it. God had me live every single part of it so I can understand people all around. And I also see how the family rights movement is. It's very, gender war and nasty stuff that's just evil. It's just evil, and I don't want to be part of that. So I take people out of that into the positive realm, into life itself, okay? Not into this like bad way of thinking. Dr. Caroline Leaf, she shows the brain, and she shows on the CAT scan. Is it the CAT scan? No, the MRI. I learned that from my radiology friend. The MRI, it shows that with all the depression and the darkness and the negative thoughts and the drugs and the alcohol, the brain, it looks like the tree, and the tree looks like dark black branches. But when you think positive and you live positive, you literally manifest it out here on the surface of your life. You pushed out. Think about it. And you start bringing back the right things. I am a living example. My life is a living example. So I can teach this. This is called being a life expert, even though I have credentials and I have certifications and so on and so forth. Okay, I'm a public speaker and so on and so forth. But I am a living example of being a life expert, living it, because I literally, physically delved in, did it, experienced it, lived it, tasted it, heard it, saw it, felt it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I would rather personally listen to somebody, and great because there's, like I said, there's amazing YouTubers out here, Angie from Queen Being, and Ross Rosenberg, and so many great ones with all kinds of credentials, more than me. And they've lived it too, okay? But you get more out of a person that's actually been able to live it. Manifest. Wake up in the morning and what you spoke the day before is right before you. Manifest cars, houses, vacations, whatever, okay? Your worth and your value. People don't understand that sometimes. But it's not up to them, because you want to keep in your sphere of influence and in your own influence in your own life. You want to be able to keep growing that in a healthy, blessed way. You want healthy, blessed soil under your feet, okay, for generations to come, okay? And that's what we want to show you guys here today. So I hope that this helped you today. Guys, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. We have such awesome stuff. Oh my gosh, we got plans, okay? We got some awesome plans, and we're bringing you guys right through. So remember, the Facebook page, all in the link description below. The Facebook page, guys, is I Survived a Narcissist, You Can Too. That's free. And if you want to book a chat with me, the link is below, is the Punished for beingaparent.com/consultations, and you can put in the description what you want to book a chat with me for. Is it for family court? Is it for law of attraction? Is it for having a life coach? What is it for? Get that hour consultation in, get your notebook ready. We will talk about it and we will go forward together. And the cool news is that I charge the least of anybody out there, okay? And so you can get just as far, if not farther, with any of the experts that are out there with me, and you won't break your bank. Isn't that awesome? All right, guys, I do love you. I hope this was helpful today, and you have a super, super blessed day.